Now next is non-aqueous titration. So student, as name indicate, non-aqueous. That means those compound are not easily soluble in water. So it is soluble in non-aqueous solvents. So for that, non-aqueous titrations are used. So certain organic acids and bases are insoluble in water. So these are extremely weak and it cannot be analyzing using normal titrimetric methods. So for that, non-aqueous titrimetric methods are used. Okay. So as we discussed in acid-base titration, so weak acid and weak base, it cannot be titrated. Okay. So for that, we have to use non-aqueous titration where we can convert weak acids to strong acids. So for that, we have to use various solvent that we'll discuss in next slides. So main principle involved in non-aqueous titrimetric method is sample are being dissolved in non-aqueous solvents. So here examples is glacial acetic acid. So it is react with water and form oxonium ion with low concentrations. But if glacial acetic acid dissolved in non-aqueous solvent, so a high concentration of the oxonium ion is formed. This is due to solubility. Now in exam questions like various solvents are used. One solvent is given, you have to identify the category of the solvent. So aprotic solvent, that means it cannot donate the proton in the solutions. That's why it is called aprotic. It is also called non-polar solvents. So carbon tetrachloride, benzene and toluene. Another way, it is having a low dielectric constant. Now what is dielectric constant? Dielectric constant, it is a unit to measure the polarity of the any solvent. So in exam, many times questions was asked like which method is used to measure the polarity, to measure the dipole moment of the any solvents. Okay, so polarity can be measured by the dielectric constant. Those solvent having a high dielectric constant having a highest polarity. So in all solvent, water having a highest dielectric constant. In all solvent, water having a highest dielectric constant. So here you have to remember the solvents, carbon tetrachloride, benzene and toluene. So how you can remember aprotic solvent? So generally जितने भी aprotic solvent होते हैं तो उसमें heteroatom नहीं होता. ओके, नाइट्रोजन सल्फर ऑक्सीजन उसके साथ हाइड्रोजन अटैच नहीं होता, उसको अप्रोटिक सॉल्वेंट बोलते हैं. और जितने भी सॉल्वेंट है लाइक मिथेनॉल, तो मिथेनॉल का फॉर्मूला क्या हो गया CH3OH. तो ऑक्सीजन के साथ हाइड्रोजन अटैच है तो वो ऑक्सीजन इट कैन इजीली डोनेट प्रोटॉन, दो इट इज अ वीक एसिड but it can donate the proton, so it is called protic solvent. Water molecule, it can donate the proton, that's it is called protic solvent. So it is called aprotic solvent. Next is a protophilic solvent. So protophilic solvent, that means it having a high affinity towards the proton. Okay, so basically such kind of solvent having a high affinity towards the proton like liquid ammonia, amine, ether and ketones. Okay, so if you look at the structure of all these solvent, liquid ammonia where having a ammonia group where nitrogen having a lone pair, amine also having a lone pair, ether having a oxygen which having a lone pair, ketone having a carbonyl carbon where oxygen having a lone pair. So these kind of solvent accept the proton and which is converted into the weak acid to strong acids. So in exam question like which of the solvent, which kind of solvents are used to convert weak acidic compound to strong acidic compound? So protophilic solvent which having a high affinity towards the proton. Next is a protogenic solvents. So these solvents are basically acidic in nature and readily donate the protons. Okay, so this solvent already having a protons, already having a acidic in nature. So as per the definition, it is donate the proton. So it is called protogenic solvent. Hydrofluoric acid HF, acetic acid, formic acid and sulfuric acids are the example of the protogenic solvent. And next is amphiprotic solvent. So these solvent combine with both the property protophilic as well as the protogenic. Okay, so it is like amphoteric kind of compound. Amphoteric compound means acidic as well as the basic property. Same way amphiprotic, that means it having a protogenic as well as the protophilic property. So such solvents are water, alcohol and weak acid like acidic assay. So here example of the solvents are generally asked in examinations. Now in these method, in non-aqueous titration, endpoint can be detected by two methods. Potentiometric method, I think it was discussed by Jinagna. So in potentiometric methods, which electrodes are used? So basically indicator electrode and reference electrodes are used. So indicator electrodes are generally glass electrode are used as an indicator electrode. So these questions are generally asked in exam. In potentiometric titration, which electron used as a indicator electrode? Or in potentiometric titration, which electron used as a reference electrode? So SCE, saturated calamol electrode, which is used as a reference electrode, and glass electrode, which is used as an indicator electrode. And second is the indicator methods, where various indicators are used in non-aqueous titration, like crystal violet, methyl red, naphthol benzene, quinaldine, and thymol blue. So these all are the indicators are used in non-aqueous titrations. And one of the example I think you have performed in laboratory is estimation of perchloric acids. Okay, so standardization of perchloric is done by KHP, potassium hydrogen phthalate, which is act as a primary standard compound. Indicator is a crystal violet, and color change is violet to blue followed by green and then greenish yellowish form. And another compound is estimated by non-aqueous titration, like sodium methoxide, lithium methoxide, tetrabutyl ammonium hydroxides. Sodium methoxide, lithium methoxide, and hydroxide. So all oxides are titrated by